Hey, aloha everyone. Michelle Melendez, blossominnerwellness.com and standtogetherhawaii.com. Here with Michael Tivana today. We're going to be talking about a few things. The riots, the LA riots. We're going to talk about Trump, and I do want to talk about the possible war with and the nukes that I personally don't feel that that's going to happen because I feel that fear is more their agenda than actually nuking anybody. But let's talk about that. So first, if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and share because I am still in YouTube probation, which means that all the algorithms are keeping my stuff from getting out. So without your guys' help, it just sits here. So mahalo so much for watching. And Michael, thanks for joining me.
Pleasure.
So let's talk about first the LA riots. I did my last video was on the LA riots because it is in what I've seen, it's all a show. It's not what people think it is. No regular person who's barely making it and gonna trying to put food on the table for their children is gonna go and throw bricks at police officers because they're rounding up criminals. What do you think about the LA riots? And I just want to say the reason I'm interviewing and always have Michael on, he was at the first Rainbow Gathering Earth Day back in the 70s, and he has been a freedom fighter for what is it?
50 years.
50 years. So he is
55
50,
years.
5 years. He's written a couple books on Iraq. And what are your books called?
Well, surviving globalization.
Surviving Globalization.
It points out who is in control of the planet and how they control the planet and the trends leading towards
I'm gonna grab that chicken.
prophecies that have been foretold millennia ago. We have a we have a lot of chickens laying a lot of eggs wherever they want. That's called survival of
Survival.
the egg. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So the things about the LA riots, there are paid provocateurs. They called plainclothes policemen. You've heard of that term? Well, they're all over. They provide uh, the people get provided the bricks to throw through the windows and to throw at police cars and things like that. I thought a new twist was to call up the driverless taxis that they have in Los Angeles. They called up 5 of them, and there they were, all lined up, and then they lit them all on fire, and that was the backdrop for the staged events that justified bringing in the National Guard and the Marines. And their plan is to go up and down the coast, all the way from Seattle to San Diego. But if people don't play along with the scenario, it's not going to happen.
So the general didn't want to play along with that.
Exactly. That
What happened with
the
that?
head of the army spoke out yesterday and says, no, it's illegal. It's not happening.
It's illegal to round up people without due process. Like what was illegal?
It's illegal to use the military as a police force because the military isn't trained to make peace. They're trained to kill and round up and so forth. The population. The the general wasn't having it. There's a lot of discussion since Biden supposedly got rid of the Posse Comitatus Act
What's that?
from 1878. It was after after the Civil War, the Great Civil War. Congress said, no, you can't use the military to police Americans on American soil. And Biden took a bite out of it and said you can use it, but in very specific situations. So that's what Trump is doing, and that's the Emergency Act of 1797, somewhere there. I mean, it was when George Washington was our president. they came up with that. Well, if there is an insurrection and there is a rebellion, then you can use the military to put it down. And rounding up supposedly illegal aliens is not
Part of the military.
insurrection, it's
Yeah.
not a rebellion. These people are working. So I've heard it said that these people are coming here to work and do jobs, and a lot of them are doing it, and they're doing it legally through the green card system.
But
and
some
so
of them
on.
aren't, and they are
Well,
at age, they are at ages that could do some harm.
So I'm in the middle of
Okay,
a
sorry.
joke here, but that's like having someone break into your house in order to clean it. You know, yeah, I broke into your house and I washed the floors and washed the windows, and it's great. So there's where we're at, and you had a comment.
So what's happening with let's talk a little bit about what Trump is doing. Like what do you think about his actions around this? Because I think it's I think both sides are a game. I think he's going to be putting the nail in the coffin. And I think that people that I know that people are having an issue with me saying this because they want to believe that, you know, he's doing the right thing. I mean, even here's somebody on property, you know, it has the belief that the white hats this, the white hats that. But I believed in the white hats too for a very long time. And it kept going this date, now this date, and the dates would come and go and nothing would happen. So I was like, I'm tired. This is not true. They're leading us on. They're keeping us on a hook to so what do you think about all of this?
Well, you look at the trends and you look at their verbiage and their goals, them being the Bilderbergs, the World Economic Forum, the wealthy people that think they're controlling the earth. They want us in a civil war, a protracted civil war, which means an extended civil war. They want us at odds with each other. One of the definitions of fascism is that you're constantly at war with everything.
And that's what we have been.
And it's just getting more. So they want the chaos that war brings, because then you can have change. And the change that they want is prescribed in the World Economic Forum's website, in the UN agenda. And
Because it's their solution to what's next for us all.
It's their solution to ultimate control of the planet. They control the commodities, the resources, the raw materials. They control the finished materials. They control the supply chains, and they control the people. And what we're talking about here, about rounding up people, it's a form of control that strikes fear in the hearts of all the people everywhere. And that is called the Stasi, what the Nazis did to the people in Eastern Europe when they rolled over them. The Stasi is when you got to watch what you say. You're going to get banned. You're going to get shadow banned. You're going to get argued with. You're going to, for your beliefs. Your opinions are controlled. You're censored. You can't say things in public anymore. And they're going after the protesters. The protesters aren't always getting rounded up, but they're getting expelled from school. They're getting loans taken away. So the surveillance is a lot deeper than people think. And the social quotient score that they have in China is coming here soon. And you might think you're okay and you're still living in a free country, but you really aren't.
Yeah, well, YouTube, I mean, I've been on probation now since October. Every 3 months, I get another strike, and then I'm back on probation again, which means the algorithms don't let me my message out. So I just appreciate everybody who's subscribing, liking, commenting, and helping get this information out, because, and also I'm on Rumble and different other platforms, but I mean, this was an American company that is violating the First Amendment. And that they should be fined, and they should have, they should be fined. And
Well, their business model and their mission statement is about free speech. YouTube, okay, Facebook, these are all free speech business models, and to take and censor that's, well, communism, fascism, whatever, it's authoritarianism, and it's a dictatorship.
So what do you think about the possible wars that and they do want to bring in war? War increases inflation. It literally makes it so that they can take away freedoms and then bring in, and then once these freedoms are gone, they don't seem to come back. They seem to be gone,
That's right. They're inching towards abandoning the Constitution, and we're back where we were in the days of the Revolution. And you have a situation where in the book 1984, George Orwell's Prophecy of the Future, the society would be socially engineered to the point where there would be perpetual wars and rumors of wars. And that's where we're at.
exactly where we're at. Yeah. Oh, and then I was going to say something else about this.
But-
Go ahead.
So we're heading towards different types of wars, but I mean, we're at war in the streets of Los Angeles, whether it's propaganda or real or not. There's a battle there which has repercussions as to our country, and our sense of freedom and our sense of liberty is at war with the that the head of the social Homeland Security, that woman, Noemi or something like that, she had a press conference, and in the press conference, she started off by saying that the military is being sent in to Los Angeles to liberate it from all the socialism and all that was being brought about by the Democrats in California. So that propaganda is telling, okay, you're liberating people from their own jobs. Are you doing that? Are you going to liberate us, and then there's no one going to work, and you're going to be replacing them with robots or something? But what's going on here?
Yeah, so she's basically, her language is around, there's just war here in the United States already, is
Yeah.
what she's saying, liberating. And then also this liberation from paid riots. I mean, who's the one that bought all the brick pallets and stuck them there for people? And
Pallets of bricks.
pallets of bricks that were already there prior to the riot. I mean, these people, also regular people like you and I and people watching, we're not going to go out, and nobody wants violence. Nobody wants to harm other people. But if you're somebody who's desperate or getting paid to do this, then yeah, I could see that you're doing that. Or a criminal from, who's come in for this reason, then I could see that happening. But what do you think about the threat of war with Iran?
Well, it's been going on since 1979, right? When they took the 400, they took the hostages, American hostages, out of the embassy, held them for 444 days. And we've sort of been at war with them ever since. And now Iran is getting blamed for all the violence in the Middle East, when the US is there creating violence. There's people dying every day on both sides. We're at war. We're already at war. World War III has already started.
It's been happening.
Let's go there. it's the level of escalation which determines the type of war that we'd be in. We can be in a nuclear war, we're gonna be in a ground war, a drone war. So what happened a couple of days ago is when Netanyahu attacked Iran and said, well, we were attacking their nukes, their nuclear facilities. And
They always have a reason.
that was after the fifth round of talks
Mhm.
between the US and Iran broke down. So before the sixth round could begin, Netanyahu said, oh, the talks broke down, it's time to attack. And you look at the right-wing Zionist movement in Israel and what their agenda is, and the map they have includes taking over Iran, Iraq, Syria, parts of Turkey, up into Khazaria, up into Armenia and Georgia, and down into half of Saudi Arabia and part of Egypt. That's their map. That's their goal, is to take that. And they're inching towards that map. They've taken over a big chunk of Syria lately and parts of Lebanon. And now they're bombing along with the US, Yemen.
And the thing that makes me so sad is that they're bombing just regular people. I mean, they're bombing us. They're bombing you. These are regular people who just want to live their lives and raise their families. That's all we don't want war. I mean, they're not bombing just military places.
It's an unconventional war. It's breaking the past rules of war where you don't do that. Hitler started bombing civilians, and we ended up bombing, killing a few 100,000 people in Japan.
Yeah.
In World War II. That changed the rules of war to include bombing civilians.
So messed up.
And they have no problem, instead of rounding up people in this country and asking questions later. Well, there's no questions asked. When you get detained in this country right now, you are disappeared. And you could be in 5 different facilities anywhere in the country in 5 days. And that's been, why would they do that? Not only are they not giving these people a day in court and due process, they're making it impossible to find them. Are they in El Salvador? They're opening up a new prison in Sudan. They're out of the country. What's up with that? That's a new precedent. As far as taking more, rounding up the citizens, putting them in work camps. If they're lucky. If they're not lucky, they're just suffering and being tortured and they die. People are dying in they're death camps, which is the final solution if you're a Nazi.
So is there any hope for us? Is there any hope for America? I mean, America is not anymore, you guys. It's, yeah, like I've said before, it's a US corporation. It's these fascist demons. And also, I just want to say too, this is not a democracy. This was never a democracy. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. That was a pledge that I used to do in school every single day when I was in elementary school. And it's to the republic, because when you have a democracy, that's mob rule. And our founding fathers never wanted a democracy. Democracy is not even in the Constitution at all, because this is supposed to be a republic where every single person has rights that cannot be taken away by government or mob. But a mob rule can take away people's rights. And that's why they keep saying this is a democracy, but it's not. So it wasn't when we were the United States of America, but now the United States corporation turned this into a democracy. But is there any hope for America? I don't know.
Oh,
I think there's
yeah,
prayer. I
we
think
we
there's
talked about the general earlier. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's the prayer, there's divine intervention.
Through us, through people that wake up.
There was another thing that happened in Dallas this week too, where you had your anti-ICE protests and the police of Dallas joined the protesters. Instead of fighting, instead of putting up a line and shooting them with tear gas and stuff, they joined the protesters. That's something right out of the movie V for Vendetta. And
Oh, that's right.
that's what I would hope is that the National Guard, the military, the police would just put down their guns and join the march against the rulers, the self-appointed rulers. There's a couple things to mention here. New York has started reopening the ballot count for the 2024 election because there were precincts in the city where Kamala Harris got 0 votes. And that's pretty common since Y2K election in 2000. There's precincts around the country that John Kerry, Kamala Harris, they got 0 votes, which is pretty hard to do. So they're opening up the that's the alarm bell. We have a biscuit coming out of the oven. It's probably gonna taste pretty good. And the overall view is there for people to see now. What is our Constitution? What is in it? What are our rights? What is the definition of freedom? What are our liberties? Now people can bring it up, they can talk about it, and they can make their own decision what makes them more free. What makes a republic? What are our rights?
Well, you know what I believe our rights are? I believe our rights are if you're not harming anybody else, if you are not, yeah, if you're not harming anybody else and you're not harming anybody's property, then you should be able to do what you want to do because you have unalienable rights by God, under God. Like all of these rules, how come this legislative body gets in every single year and makes more laws, more and more laws every single year against the people? I mean, it's literally tightening the noose is what I see. And so I just feel that, you know, we have to stand up for our unalienable rights, like Captain Matt, fire Captain Matt, who sits there and he actually he what did he do? He had his plates, he had because he has the right to travel. We actually have the right to travel without a driver's license as long as you're not doing commerce. You actually that's actually in the Constitution. You have the right to travel. So he did that and then got pulled over, went to court. The judge had went through all of the cases prior to him, gets him up there, and then the judge is telling him his rights, his privileges. And Captain Matt says, I don't need you to tell me my rights. I know I have not waived any of my unalienable rights. And the judge left the room. The judge left the room because once he said he has unalienable rights, then he's not under the jurisdiction of that corporation. So the judge doesn't,
It's
yeah. So that's but that's and it is it scary? Yeah, it's scary. So we have a choice. You can either live as a slave and do what they're telling you because that's what's coming, you guys. And if people don't think it's coming for them, it's coming for all of us. They just burned millions and millions of acres in Canada. They've, you know,
driving people off the land.
driving people off the land to put them in to the cities. So, you know, that's why I always say in the prayer, I say, thank you for the harmony of the earth and for our own courage to do what is our kuleana, what's ours to do. And, you know, I don't know what that is for you. And each person has their own decision of how they want to live their life at this time. But this fascism, I feel that more and more people wake up and say no, do not comply. You know, David Icke has been saying for a long time, don't comply. And what would you say to that?
Well, you have to go to the person that's the most important in the power chain. Chain of power is your sheriff of your county. Go to your sheriff, find out where that person stands. The sheriff works with the mayor if you're in a small city, but it's that person holds the key. Are they going to go along with what the Trump administration is telling them to do and do the bidding? The Trump administration wants to have all the police in the country do their bidding. And the sheriff has control over the local police.
Mm.
The sheriff and the chief of police, those are key people to either impeach or to influence from the people what they want to have happen. If they want due process, you got to go there, and then you got to go to the courts. The courts, this is where hope is happening. The courts are fighting back. Trump has lost numerous court cases now. Every day, they he's losing more and more. So the historical key to where we are right now as a country and a world is the big, beautiful bill. It's passed Congress by the House by 2 votes, and now it's sitting in the Senate. And they're discussing it. The big, beautiful bill takes away the enforcement power of the court system.
What bill is this?
Called the big, beautiful bill.
That's really what it's called?
That's what it's called.
Are you serious?
And it's got the budget in it, and it's got the money in it, and it's got all this powers changes in it. And it's being discussed over the weekend where we have the No Kings protests all over the country. And at the same time, Trump wants to have his military parade in Washington, D.C., which in and of itself is, that's a sign of a dictatorship when you have a military parade. And
That's what Hitler did.
yeah, and
Just saying, everybody.
that's what all the
You know,
dictators do.
And I know I have my friends here that still believe in him, and it's like, you guys, I don't see, but you know, we each can choose to believe what we
Well,
want.
they're thinking that the Trumpers are thinking that it's going to take a dictatorship to drain the swamp
That, you know what, it's
of all the corruption.
if a president is not talking about the fact that this is a U.S. corporation and not a government anymore. So if he got into office and started telling the truth, like Tulsi Gabbard was the only person that I've ever seen that actually said the truth when she was asked who runs the country, and she said, it's not who you think it is. It's the military industrial complex. She says that's what she said, even though it goes more, it's deeper than that. So if Trump was for sure for the people, he would be telling the truth. This is not a government anymore. This is a U.S. corporation, and the corporation is basically running everything. And it's not the president doesn't run the government like we think that he does. He's a puppet. So there's also the senior executive service that also those people in there, and the what did you call it? Foreign relations, the office of
Council on Foreign Relations.
Council on Foreign Relations, all of these people, they're all part of the U.S. corporation. So if Trump got in there and said, everybody, I just want you to know, this is a corporation. It is no longer a government. Then I would be like, yeah, thank you so much for telling us the truth. But he never has. Nobody has. But that is the truth, everybody. It's why you think it's the United States. It's the United States, that's just a label for the business corporation. It's not the United States of America government, and it hasn't been for a very long time. So that's just that's truth. Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I want to persuade you to become our next sheriff.
No,
You be our sheriff.
we didn't even have a sheriff here in Hawaii. There's no sheriff here, right? as far as I
They
know.
got one on Maui.
They got a Maui sheriff, but
So if you want to evict someone, you have to rent them. They'll come over here. Minimum is $10,000. You come over.
you got to
four-
rent your
four
sheriff
of his
here on the Big
buddies.
Island.
Yeah.
We got to rent our sheriffs. So anyway, well, you guys have a great day. Stay hopeful. Stay in the truth. Share this video. Please let me know what you think of this. And Michael, thank you so much for joining and sharing your truth. And he's an author of many of these little books that he has that give really good information. And we got to get those on my site.
There's a blog.
Yeah, standtogetherhawaii.com. Standtogetherhawaii.com. Click on the blog, click on more and click on the blog and go check out Michael's
More blog.
Michael's work.
More
It's been
blog.
really great. Okay, let's
Okay.
do a quick prayer. Infinite creator of all things, what a game we came to play. Oh my goodness. You know what's going on here. You're beating our hearts, you're breathing our bodies, you're moving the sun across the sky, running the tides. There is a game coming. There's a game here. And each one of us said, I'm going to go forth at this time in history. I'm going to play this game. And that's what we're doing here. So, Great Spirit, we trust you. We follow our intuition, our inspired in spirit intuition, what is guiding each one of us to do what is ours to do, our kuleana. And Great Spirit, we give so much gratitude to the people who are waking up, who are choosing to see what is the truth and are seeing through all the lies. Thank you so much, Great Spirit, for the courage of each one of those. And thank you for the courage of the soldiers and the police officers that put their guns down and support the people. And thank you so much for every single legislative person that also supports the people, not this agenda that moves toward fascism. Thank you so much for the courage of those people, Great Spirit. And we know that more and more people are doing just that. They're standing for the people, not for the fascist elite corporation that is the United States. Great Spirit, we call forth all of the dreams and hopes of everyone who has ever believed in America, who has ever believed in freedom, the unalienable rights of all the people. We call that spirit forth, that it engulf the planet, and that all people who want freedom, that they just do one thing, even if it's not being angry, even if it's being kind to their neighbors, just one thing that moves us all toward a better world, a world of peace and a world of freedom and a world of harmony for all of us. We call that forth now, that the darkness not be here, that the light shine on all people, and that freedom win. We call that forth and we give so much gratitude, Great Spirit. Thank you so much. We call this forth in the unconditional love that Jesus once showed us all. We call this forth, and so it is. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Awesome. Aloha, everyone.